Lunchtime Tuesday also means Joe Sheehan newsletter. Brother, how's your world?
Good, man. Gorgeous day here, but I'm inside doing some work, doing some radio today. But yeah, things are good.
Dude, it doesn't work like that. Gorgeous day means go outside. Look, we've heard you get arrested. We've heard people be shot around you. And you pick today to be the day to stay inside?
I was out yesterday. I'll be out tomorrow. It can definitely, I mean, obviously we get the sirens here even if I'm at home, but the radio hits are certainly easier if I can stay in for them.
Now, that makes sense. That's kind of fair. Okay, I've got a not baseball question that I'm going to tie into baseball for you. I was reading this morning that as part of the America 250 celebration, we're burying another time capsule that's going to be opened in 250 years, July 4th, like 2076. And the director of the project is asking for ideas for the time capsule. What should Major League Baseball, what would they put in there to represent for MLB?
Something related to Shohei Ohtani.
But that's
even
not
though
America.
we don't talk, yeah, but he's baseball. It's not about base. The way I would interpret the question is, it's not necessarily an American. It's baseball, and Ohtani is right now the very best of baseball in 2026. So it would definitely have to be something Ohtani related.
I knew that's the answer, but it's called America's Time Capsule. And it's something that's got, I'm thinking, like we already know some of the early objects. They're putting an iPhone 17, a Coca-Cola bottle, essays from students, Native American artwork. So, and I was just thinking for MLB, who I always think has struggled with its identity, right? There's nothing timeless about MLB anymore.
I don't know. I think if you think about just the experience of going to a game on, say, a 72-degree afternoon, my big thing, Louie, I think we've talked about this. I think I think day baseball during the week is getting away with something. That feeling of it's 1 o'clock and I'm sitting in the sun at a ball game as opposed to being at my desk. I just think the experience of going to a game, whether it's a Friday night, whether it's taking your son and daughter to a game on a Saturday afternoon, I think the actual experience of going to a baseball game is timeless.
Without a doubt. Look, I still appreciate 3 hours, 2 to 3 best friends enjoying a beer and a hot dog. That's the most relevant part of the story.
Right. And that's why I talk to you about this. When I go to games, it's not scoring and taking notes. I'm there with friends and we're BSing. And yeah, we're watching the game, we're having fun, and we're talking ball, but we're talking about any number of things. We're hanging out. It's the social experience. It's being certainly in an era where all of us don't get outside enough to be able to sit outside in the sun for a few hours. That's a big part of it. So I think that element of baseball is still, and you go to games now, Louie, and for all the talk about how baseball is dying, if I go to a Yankee game, I go to a Met game, there's a whole bunch of young people there. There's a whole bunch of young women there. It's not a bunch of 57. It's not like going to the racetrack and, I'd be the youngest guy there. It's a very young, vibrant environment, certainly at the ballparks here in the city.
It's funny. I heard you say women there, and I haven't heard anything you said since there. I was like, wait, where? So, okay, I'm sorry. I'll get back to baseball in a second. I was thinking for our time capsule, how about a Chicago Cubs jersey?
Any particular one?
Well, it would be with the Cubby, the Cubby Bear Cub.
Okay.
It just, there's something timeless about that. New York Yankee jersey, we don't want them to boo when they open the time capsule.
Well, the Yankees might not win a World Series by 276.
That's not going to happen. They're still going to not fire, no.
I know you're a Cubs guy, but I think if we're picking a uniform, I think it's got to be the Yankees or the Dodgers. They are certainly more iconic than the Cubs jersey. Not to say nothing against the Cubs, but like the Yankee pinstripes are known the world over. The interlocking logo, known the world over, in a way that I'm not entirely sure the Cubs logo and the Cubs uni gets to.
So a New York guy said the Yankee pinstripes. Okay, we'll just take that.
I'd compromise on the Dodgers. Because with the Dodgers, you also get a lot of critical baseball history, whether it's Scully back through O'Malley, back through Robinson. I think you make a decent case for a Dodger jersey as well.
You know, you made me think about it. Maybe instead of the Dodgers, we could go Astros.
Why?
Have you ever seen like their Houston Connect ones? Because they're beautiful.
I will. Well, the all blue ones.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I actually like that one. But here's the thing: when you think of the Astros, boom, quickly, what uniform do you think of?
I think of the ugly concession stand disaster ones and love them to death. 80s.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by
80s. That. Oh, yeah, you don't?
I don't know what you mean by concession stand was the term I didn't get.
Because it looked like someone spilled a bunch of condiments in a line.
Well, I'm talking about, Terry Poole in a pullover.
Oh.
Polyester pullover with the stripes. I think they called it Sunset or something.
I don't remember the name, but that was the reference that always I heard someone else say, and I went, yeah, that's right. Looks like a concession stand disaster.
If you're putting an Astros uniform in a time machine, it's got to be one of those.
Now, Jeff Bagwell, the best ones they ever had was the orange top blue, and the Astros logo looked sharp. That I know that probably didn't narrow it down for you either.
I'm trying to picture Bagwell. The pinstripes, was that a pinstripe?
Not the pinch. That was a good looking one, but it was a solid orange top, and the blue contrast with it was so good. It was a very sharp uniform.
So I don't remember those. I'm picturing like the orange tops they wear now.
No, that's kind of it's fine. That one thing about Astros uniforms, other than that 80 stretch, I thought the Astros have always looked good. Not necessarily the best, but they've always looked good. They've never been embarrassing, except for one of the more defining, embarrassing uniforms ever.
Yeah. So this is an interesting question. Like, what would be? And I'm going to say the Yankees, but you want to dismiss that as bias, fine. What is the iconic baseball uniform?
The Yankees.
Okay, so we agree on that, even though you think it's because I'm biased.
Oh, it is because you're biased. They're not going to put them in a time capsule. They're not going to have New York represent America.
Right. It's probably the Celtics in the NBA, it's the Canadiens in the NHL, and it's the Cowboys in the NFL. Like,
that is the most iconic. You've named every of the most iconic without a doubt. And here's what I wonder. Okay, you can help me with this. This is sports in general, right? Are all those still true? Have the times changed enough? Maybe not in our lifetime. Are they even changing with those? Because those are the definition of the most iconic in their sports history. I
don't know about the NHL. I don't follow the NHL as much as I do. And, of course, Canada hasn't won a Stanley Cup in 30 years or something. And I'm not sure it just has the cultural footprint. I think with the NBA, maybe the Lakers, you put the Lakers up there, maybe the Bulls. I mean, the Bulls uniforms, go back to the Jordan era Bulls, are so iconic that the White Sox actually ripped them off for their City Connects now, and they look awesome. And then I don't think there's any question that the NFL, probably for as long as we live, it's going to be that Cowboy star.
Yeah, in the NFL, I'm particular to the Steelers, so we can't go much further in that conversation than that. I've been and here's the thing, lifelong, since I first started watching football, and I grew up in Houston. So Oilers, Steelers twice a year. Back then, I used to have to fight my way to school. Okay,
I was gonna say you must have spent the whole fall getting your rear end kicked.
The
Oilers were good.
They couldn't kick in the door because of what team? Steelers. So It was rough, dude. It's not a joke. It was rough.
Being a Steeler fan when you got Earl Campbell right there. Oh my God.
So I grew up rough. Okay, and then I come to college. And one of my three best friends in the entire universe, we lived together even, was an Oilers fan.
When did they move?
I don't remember the year, but
it was like mid-90s?
Something like earlier mid, sure. And during Steeler Oilers week, we just agreed not to talk to each other till the game was over so that we could continue to be best friends.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it worked. I'll leave it at that. It worked. We, that week, he did his thing, I did my thing. The game was over. We went 8. So
now, did he stick with them after they moved?
Yes, he did. The Tennessee Titans. Well, okay, ho. You're gonna like this. He stuck with the Oilers, not the Titans.
He still calls them the Oilers?
He misses the Oilers. He's now with the Texans. He could.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he loved the Oilers for life. The Titans were not the Oilers, man.
When I was a kid, I remember loving the Oilers uniforms with that baby blue.
Oh yeah, powder. And they had the best fight song ever. We got the offense, we got the defense. Yeah. Houston Oilers #1. You can never buy. That's like Shakespeare.
Teams used to have fight songs. Tell you, man, the 70s and 80s weren't all that bad.
The drugs were great. Everybody was inspired. They wrote the best fight songs, and cheerleaders are cheerleaders still. It was a great time to be alive.
So,
all right.
How did you get onto that? Oh, the time capsule. That's how we got on it.
Yeah, the time capsules can take you anywhere. They're called time capsules. So we were traveling with it. And you want to put the Yankees or the Dodgers, and we decided that the Cubs were a better choice. Yesterday.
Have you ever seen a time capsule get opened? Because you hear about throughout history, all these time capsules. I've never heard of one actually getting opened.
Only in the movies or TV show. I've never, real life, ever heard of a time capsule being opened. No.
Like I would love to sit down and see like a time capsule from 1926.
So would I actually. Okay, I'm with you on this concept. Where you're going with this, I'm 100% on board with you. But don't do half the job. Somebody, I mean, granted, everybody's dead, and maybe people forget where they buried it, but somebody's got to be in charge of that. Okay, well, you want to do a Louie Bellina show time capsule that they'll open? Okay, here we go. We'll do a Louie Bellina show time capsule that will open in 10 days from now.
I know something from Rudy's Barbecue's got to be in there.
Oh yeah, I'll put a $50 gift card from Rudy's Barbecue in there. But you got to understand, I'm doing the smaller goal one. We're not doing 200 years, okay? I want to actually be here when we open it. So maybe instead of 200 years, we'll do 200 days. That would be more of the max limit. I don't take anything for granted.
I'm just saying, I want to see one of these get open sometime.
Okay, Joe, I'll have Caleb. He's the producer today. Can you find us a time capsule that Joe and I can see get opened? He's just staring into space. Never mind. All right.
Caleb's like, there were so many jobs I could have taken, and this is where I ended up.
Yeah, I'm working for guys that want to see a time capsule open. Caleb did not wake up this morning with that on his bingo card, that's for sure. So yesterday, MLB released our first All-Star ballot update. There's no time capsules on it anywhere. And I say surprises. I mean, it's just an update, but Yordan Alvarez, the leading vote getter in the American League. You might hate his uniforms, but you can't hate his play.
Well, so understand now, there haven't been physical ballots in quite some time. The only way to vote is online. And when you go online to vote, the ballot comes with the player's current season stats right there. So All-Star voting now is very much driven by how you're playing in the current season. There's really no look back to last year or popularity or anything like that. It has very much become a current season stat driven model. And Yordan Alvarez is not just the best DH in the league. He's one of these. I have to check him and Ben Rice on any given day, but he's the best hitter in the league, and he's a legitimate MVP and Triple Crown candidate. So I'm not terribly surprised.
And do you have any problem with that? Because I do feel like the All-Star Game should be rewarding people for that season. Heck, I'd have no problem if there was even a honorary slot for each side to give a lifetime achievement award for that kind of thing. I've never had any problem with the All-Star Game having its own funky rules, but I do think the All-Star Game should be for that year.
No, and I don't. I'd go the other way. I think one of the biggest problems with the All-Star Game now is that it's become more about guys having the best 3 months and the superstars only playing 4 or 5 innings. You go back, there was an All-Star Game in '66 or '67 where the outfield for the National League was Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Roberto Clemente. And they played the entire game. And to me, we've lost the thread on the All-Star Game when it started becoming more about like a church picnic type of thing where everybody's going to get into the game and we're going to use 10 pitchers each, and everybody who's having the best 10 weeks of their lives is going to be on the roster. I think that's hurt the All-Star. A lot of things have hurt the All-Star Game, changes that have nothing to do with it itself. But my biggest thing is I'd really much prefer a game where the superstars are taking most of the playing time. And what I mean by superstars is even if Jose Ramirez is a good example. So I did my All-Star ballot 2 weeks ago in the newsletter, and I had Jose Ramirez at third base. Jose Ramirez doesn't have the best stats of any third baseman over the first 2 months of the season, but the All-Star Game is for the guys like Jose Ramirez, superstars, future Hall of Famers, guys who are very watchable. Ramirez has since gotten hurt, so it's kind of a moot point. Give me that model of an All-Star as opposed to the guy having the best 7 weeks of his life. Because historically, if you look at guys like that, they regress to the mean in the second half, and you look back and go, why was he an All-Star the year that he had 267 with 11 homers? And it's because he had all 11 of those home runs in April and May.
Leave Jack Armstrong out of this.
Alec Boehm. I mean, there's 1,000 of them, Louie. I mean, it's like I say, every single year. And remember, you're going to be filling out the roster. We vote on 9 rosters. We vote on 18 All-Stars. But there are going to be 64 All-Stars on the rosters, and there are going to be another 10 to 12 that get added to the roster because of the way the rules are now. They're going to be 70-something All-Stars.
Yep.
So I'd rather vote for the superstars and leave filling out the roster with the first half flukes to other people.
It's almost like the Hall of Fame. It doesn't really mean that much to get the award anymore.
I don't know if I'd make that comp, but yeah, I would say that when you look, a lot of people get to be All-Star. I think I did the math.
When I say Hall of Fame, I didn't mean Baseball Hall of Fame. Baseball Hall of Fame will still have 0 in a class, so I still have respect for it. But most Hall of Fames, they're putting in 10 a year. No, hard pass.
Yeah, it's everybody gets in. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, everybody gets in. But yeah, that's the model. You really want to have the superstars being a bigger part of it. And I think, if you think about that 3 or 4 day stretch, Louis, the home run derby takes up all the oxygen now. That's what people really tune in for the Monday night. And the All-Star game almost feels like an afterthought after the home run derby.
Yeah, I agree with that. Have you been to All-Star game festivities? Yeah, you have. You've been.
I have. Not often. 2008, I think, was the last one I went to. And that was really special. That was here at the stadium. Mariano Rivera got introduced. It was incredible. I got to be there for the Futures game. I got to be there that was the year Josh Hamilton went off in the home run derby. He didn't win it, but he had that incredible run in the second round. And I'm in the auxiliary press box, which is in the old Yankee Stadium in the load section in the right field. And all these home runs were like flying by us on the, just to my right. It was an incredible, incredible night. And then the next night we had the 15-inning All-Star game. Dan Uggla makes 3 errors. And, that was one of the inspirations, I think, for the dumb rule we have now. But even then, Louis, it was more of a participation event. Even then, you didn't have the AL-NL rivalry. The AL-NL rivalry doesn't exist anymore. The American League and National League are functionally just conferences as opposed to leagues at this point.
Yeah, I went to Houston, Coors Field, and PNC, Pittsburgh. I went to those 3. Loved them all. The All-Star festivities are so much fun.
That's a great set of ballparks, too. Wow, you got to go. So, PNC is just on another level.
Yeah, it just people don't get that, too, because a lot of people like exhibition, blah, blah. No, man, the crowds, the people, the festivities, the fun. Kind of want to go to another one again now that we're talking about it out loud. Hey, Joe, quick timeout. Come back. Let's talk some more. Let's hang out.
Cool.
Joe Sheehan of the Joe Sheehan newsletter hanging out with us on the D4 Land Services hotline. And look, you need some help. With what? Great question. Land clearing, land excavation, d4landservices.com. You need help. Forestry, mulching, pond construction. You just need your land fixed up. Go check out. You'll be bored at work. You got time. Come on, man. Go to d4landservices.com. This is the Louie Bellina Show. Tuesday on the Zone.
The Houston Astros. Play in the zone. Thanks to Kelly Bird Dozer.
The Louie Bellina Show. Presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, community. Rejoin Joe Sheehan newsletter. Joe, I apologize for this, but I opened a door that people are walking through. I have a couple of time capsule factoids for you, if you want them.
Sure.
So the world's first planned time capsule debuted in 1876 when New York, right next to you, New York Magazine publisher Ann Dime assembled a Century safe at the U.S. Centennial Exposition in Philadelphia. Iron box stuffed with 19th century relics. It was sealed in 1879. It was almost forgotten. It was later rediscovered, restored, unlocked on schedule, July 1976 during the nation's bicentennial.
Okay, that's very cool.
And then finally, the world's largest time capsule was recorded by the World Record Academy, is located in Seward, Nebraska. And the fast-forward version of this, 45-ton concrete vault was sealed on July 4th, 1975, and opened exactly 50 years later on July 4th, 2025. Had 5,000 relics. I kind of laughed. The relics of the era. Yeah. 1970s. Relics of the era, including a yellow Chevy Vega, pet rocks, and more.
Bell bottoms.
But hopefully
Yo-yos.
just good disco music. But if it's 1975, again, you could add some Zepp in there and more. Some Black Sabbath.
You're definitely a transition year in time in music.
Yes, definitely. So there you go. Now, Joe, for the rest of the week, you can impress all your friends and your newsletter people. You can do a newsletter on Time Capsules if you wanted. You don't have to credit me at all.
I was actually thinking about asking on Slack about that uniform thing, and what would you put in it? I think what would you put in a baseball time capsule is a perfect sports radio topic.
Dude. Okay, there you go. Done. Dude, done. Baseball one would be bats. I have a collection of bats. A collection. I've got like 6-7 bats. Like, remember these All-Star games I told you to? I bought a bat at each one of the All-Star games.
Did you get them autographed or?
No, not the commemorative bats from the games.
Okay.
I really love bats. I try not to collect anything. I have a somewhat addictive personality, and I'd be broke. I'd be knocking off liquor stores to buy baseball bats. But I bought one from each of the All-Star games. I really love them.
When I was a kid, and I don't know when they started it, but they stopped it not long. While I was still a kid, I think they used to do Bat Day at Yankee Stadium, and they would hand out bats to a bunch of kids in the Bronx. And it wasn't until I got older that I'm like, was that necessarily the best idea? Like, how did this not turn into? It was a different time and all, but yeah, I don't think I still have it. I have a Willie Randolph bat that I had for a very long time. I think it just might have got lost in a move at some point. But yeah, they used to hand out 15,000 bats to kids at the Yankee games.
I remember Bat Day. I'd go to the Astrodome, and and we'd all be little. They had mini Bat Day, plastic Bat Day. There was different kind of Bat Days too. And yes, now they can't do that, or people will pummel each other in the stands with them.
They went to the plastic bat or the mini bat, but no, these were like. I remember using it, hitting with it. I'm sure it was a cheap piece of wood, and I should have been doing that, but like it was actually a baseball bat, and I hit with wood until basically the last year I played. I really preferred the feel of wood, and I'd go out every. I'm sorry, I'm way off topic here. Never mind.
Well, that's okay. Hey, look, you're reliving the old days. Okay, from New York, did you play wiffle ball?
Oh, sure. I mean, we had a whole where my apartment building was. We almost had like a sports complex. There was an alley where we played wiffle ball. March to whatever. Out front, and there was a basement in the winter. We play hockey. And then out on Stephen Avenue, that's where we played football. It was right around the time where traffic was getting to a point where you couldn't actually play in the street as much. But we still, we played some stickball and football in the street as well. But it was literally like the sports complex we have. And even basketball. We weren't really basketball players at the time when hoops was kind of like a lesser sport. But even then, we played some basketball using a fire escape as the basket, or using the fallout shelter sign as a basket. So, yeah, we played dude. You gotta remember, man, it was the 70s, it was the 80s. Sports was everything. Like Inwood, where I grew up, which is a neighborhood right at the top of Manhattan, sports was the coin of the realm, man. You just played sports all the time.
Yep, and poker hadn't come along yet. Man, I took care of all that. You didn't have to go outside anymore. Joe, do we have to take the Chicago White Sox for real?
Yeah, even if I'm not completely convinced that they're even a 500 team, it's a pretty weak pitching staff. They have some internal depth that they can bring in and help that in the rotation, but I just don't really trust the bullpen. The fact is the American League isn't going to cough up enough better teams to where they're going to fall out of contention. Now, I think they're going to have an interesting challenge here coming up with the trade deadline, where they're supposed to still be in a rebuild. And do you want to start trading away chips to chase a division, even at this point, possibly a division title? So they're one of the more fascinating teams here going forward, but you could really see the pieces that Chris Getz has put together. They called up a kid last week named Braden Montgomery, and he was another player they got in the Garrett Crochet deal, which has turned out to be huge for them. And Montgomery went out and hit a walk-off homer in his first major league game, I should say. So they have a lot of talent from the trades, and they also have, I believe, they have the 1-1 in this year's draft, which is supposed to be that UCLA shortstop, but it's a month in the draft, so who else going to be? But they're going to add more talent to this group as well. So I think you've got to take them seriously this year. It's a weak division. The Royals aren't going to get there. The Twins aren't going to get there. The Tigers now look like they're not going to get there. So it's basically the White Sox and the Guardians, and the Guardians just aren't that good. I mean, they've been able to make the playoffs in recent years by not allowing any runs, and the pitching isn't quite as good this year. So, yeah, I think we've got to take the White Sox seriously. I think the more interesting question is how seriously do the White Sox take themselves?
You know, do you know where Braden Montgomery played his college ball?
And he was because we talked about him.
Yep.
I think when he got traded, and then because he blew out his knee late in his senior year or his draft year, he blew out his knee and he missed a lot of time. That's why he dropped to like 14th in the draft.
Okay, when you said the young kid or whatever, I'm like, I wonder if he knows he's an Aggie. And him going down before at the key moment of A&M's postseason run was devastating. He was here at A&M. What if stories? Don't want to go that far back in time. So okay. White Sox Guardians, we know the Guardians aren't going to buy either. The Guardians aren't going to sell out to win either. So you've got two teams at the top of the division. Neither's going to sell out to secure their place.
Probably not. Because it's just not what the Guardians do. I mean, Lily go out, maybe try to, do what they do is try to add some veteran who's slightly better than the guys they have. But they're not going to, last time they really traded for a star was Josh Donaldson, and Josh Donaldson was hurt that year, so he barely played. So, yeah, I think the White Sox are more likely than the Guardians, only because the Guardians are the least likely team in baseball to do it.
Fair enough. It is interesting, and neither team will sell out. And basically, Minnesota, Detroit, Kansas City, do we have to fear any of them making a run? Realistically, I know they're not far enough out, but they are pretty deep in the hole at this point. So you could make a run, but realistically.
Well, with the win last night, the Tigers, I think they're now on a game and a half ahead of the worst record in the American League, and they moved to 5. I thought this series with the Astros was pretty critical for them because they had to win the series to make up some ground on the Astros, but also to set up the tiebreak. You start thinking now, you only get 2 chances to play these teams often, and if you end up losing a tiebreaker to them, now you're basically an additional half game behind that particular team. So we'll see how the rest of the series goes. But I thought for both of these teams, it was a key series in figuring out what the direction's going to be.
Fair enough. Kiefer, I don't know if there's such a thing as a key series for the Astros. One thing, and the sign of a bad team is when you create so many different ways to lose, and that's the problem for Houston right now. They can't get any momentum because they have no consistency. They can lose because they're middle relief. They can lose because they have Ryan Abreu. They lose because of their 6-man rotation they're about to have with Hunter Brown tonight. They have 3 guys that you have no clue what they're going to do anytime they get the ball. Yep. They lose because the bottom of the order and the middle of the order, the only reason they don't lose is Yordan Alvarez. It's just, straightforward. That's what bad teams do.
Well, they get Brown back tonight. They'll get Yainer Diaz back. We're going to see the best version this team can actually put on the field. I think Javier is not far behind as well. Correa obviously out for the year. But you mentioned the bottom of the lineup, and to me, that's just, they've gotten this great month from Taylor Trammell, but he's not that guy.
No.
It's like a 4-man offense, 5-man offense, stretch it. The rotation you mentioned, Brown back is big, and behind him there's like a gap. I'm not sure there is a legitimate number 3 in this rotation. I take that back. I think that's what Spencer Arrighetti is. So Brown is the 1, Arrighetti's a 3, and then if you're setting a playoff
no 2 and no 2 and highly mediocre 4s. Their 4s aren't good.
If you're Javier's got blasted before he was pitching terribly before he got hurt. I'm not sure the number 3 starter in a playoff series for this team is even on the roster right now.
Yep. Good. No 2s, a possible 3, and bad 4s. That's not the recipe for consistent success. They have the potential on any night to beat anyone, but most teams do, actually. The average MLB team has that, too.
Well, that's baseball. It's not the NFL, the NBA, where the better team wins most of the time. In baseball, it's determined by, who's the starter that night. Do you get a good matchup? And the variability of individual player performance in baseball is much greater than it is in these other sports. So, in any given, what's the NFL cliche? Any given Sunday?
Yep.
Baseball, it's any given day. So,
but over the course of 7, then 14, then 28,
right.
the better team wins the majority.
But I think the Astros are in a similar situation to the White Sox, where it may be hard for them to fall far enough behind, especially when you consider Crane is the opposite of the Guardians. He absolutely does not want to sell. So they're going to have to be well off the pace to start that process.
Joe, sorry you got caught in America's time capsule vortex. Have an amazing week. Thank you always, dude. Go be amazing. Thank you, man.
Sorry, Caleb. Thanks, bud.
Poor Caleb. Thank you, man. Joe Sheehan. Poor Caleb. Joe Sheehan, Poor Caleb. Of the Joe Sheehan newsletter, hanging out with us on the D4 Land Services hotline. Look, we'll be back. Uri Geva, he'll join us. Bombers update. We still got Olin Buchanan of TexAgs and the Community Spotlight. It's the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Residential, commercial, and industrial services. It's what they do at CC Electric.
The Louie Bellina Show.
Cheer up, loser!
It might not be Disneyland,
He's the last stronghold of masculinity in this Disneyland of perversion.
but it can be an adventure.
Good times.
Listen in weekdays 11 to 2 on The Zone.
The Louie Bellina Show, Tuesday edition, lunchtime on a Tuesday. Lunchtime thanks to Rudy's Barbecue, home of the green chili stew. We're joined Tuesday's lunchtime. Uri Geva, he's the owner of the Brazos Valley Bombers. He joined us on the D4 Land Services hotline. Uri, I've been looking forward to visiting with you all week. I know, what was it, a week ago? Last Wednesday, you had your first barnstorming appearance. The Bombers were down in Brenham. I'm just dying to know how it went, doing a barnstorming, a pop-up game.
You know, it was a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. It was a lot of work, a lot of long hours for our team to make it happen. And boy, was it an incredible success. First of all, the fans flocked. It was full. It was exciting. And the atmosphere was fantastic. It's as if Bomber fans can be just, everywhere, not just in Bryan College Station, and they enjoyed it. We got standing ovation when we said thank you, obviously, to Citizen State Bank for making it available for the community. And then when we asked, I was fortunate enough to be the MC, not the PA. Our standard PA wasn't available. That had a prior obligation anyways, regardless of where the game was. And so I was like, okay, I'll jump on the mic. And I said, what if we made this an annual tradition? And everybody was like so excited. And I was like, okay, we're coming back next year. Everybody's like cheering and hollering and happy. We had the kids zone, we had the beer, we had the food was fantastic. Kaboom was great, never winning a contest, and it was just a lot of fun for the kids, for the parents, for the adults. And that ballpark since 1908 hasn't probably seen that much fun in over a century, right? So it was wonderful to be there. The press box, I have to say, one of the most incredible. As old as that facility is, you'd be like, okay, oh my God, what's the press box? I mean, they did a great job of refurbishing that place. Great air-conditioned space. It was like, man, this is almost as good as Kyle Field.
So last Wednesday, for those that don't know or the first year, the Brazos Valley Bombers, who currently play their home games this summer down at Navasota High, renovated, beautiful, all the amenities you expected when you saw the Bombers, in the past 19 years when they were playing down in Bryan. They got the fun zone, they got the kiddie areas, they've got the concessions, all that down at Navasota this summer. The Bombers did a pop-up game, a barnstorming game last Wednesday in Brenham. The tickets were free. Everyone got in for free. And as Uri now has shared with us, it was a glorious night for everybody involved. And Uri, speaking of glorious nights, Bombers are a little bit on fire right now. See a lot of W's.
Yeah, that game, the only downside in Brenham was we didn't get the dub, right? But that's okay. After that game, team's been on fire, 3-game win streak. I'm not sure if it's because I'm wearing the right color hat or if it's the right underwear that the team is wearing, or just we are that good and we're having a great time.
Good underwear goes a long way. I'll just state that for the record.
There you go. So we're excited, man. We're on the road tonight and tomorrow. We go down to San Antonio River Monsters. Used to be at Seguin. Now they play at UIW, University of Carnegie Ward, down in San Antonio.
Ooh.
So the boys are out of town today and tomorrow. Hopefully a couple of W's there. Then we face them here at home. So we'll see the San Antonio River Monsters for the first time this season at home, Thursday, thanks to the Zone and Whiskey's Charlie. And then, of course, you can't have a Thirsty Thursday without a giveaway. So we have a drawstring bag for the first 100, thanks to Premier Painting. So you get a gift, you get $1 beer, you get $1 water. Pretty fun night. We're also going to throw some 80s music, so why not? 80s are always fun. We'll take on the River Monsters with hopefully a 5-game win streak coming into that. Then we've got probably one of the biggest nights of the year. It's Friday fireworks, right? So if it's a Friday game and a Bombers game, 19 years, why not do it 20? Why not do it 100 years? Friday night means fireworks with the Bombers, so that's happening. And because it's not enough just to have fireworks, we have the Superstars. And I don't know if you've seen them. They've been in the Bomber Stadium before. They've been at, I don't think they've been to Olsen Field. I've seen them at Reed Arena. It's a traveling act. These are giant inflatable costumes. They put on a great show that combines with our show, and it's a lot of fun. So we'll have the Superstars. We'll have fireworks in the middle of the game. We shoot it at 9 o'clock. It's just a 10-minute break this time because the lights come back on. You snap your fingers, the lights are back on, which is amazing improvement. So we'll have fireworks. We'll have the Superstars. We'll have San Antonio River Monsters. We'll have Kaboom. We'll have giveaways on Thursday, the day before. And that's only half of our homestand this week, Louis.
For those that don't know, the Brazos Valley Bombers are home Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They're home all weekend long, and the weekend starts on Thursday with the Brazos Valley Bombers this week.
Yeah, so Thursday we talked about, Friday we talked about. Saturday, it's Kids Free Saturday, so thanks to Chicken Express, kids get in free, and they get a free meal. So that's a hot dog and a drink. That's fantastic, a great way to have a Kids Free Saturday, thanks to Chicken Express. We'll give away some more foam fingers, thanks to Debbie Stoll, so that's exciting. So another giveaway on Saturday. And then Sunday, we couldn't figure out how not to do Sunday Fun Day without giving away free cookie dough. So free scoop of cookie dough to all in attendance on Sunday. So you get free cookie dough, you get yourself a foam finger, you get a drawstring bag to put it all together. We've got all these wonderful sponsors that are helping us with these giveaways, from Cookie Dough Bliss on Sunday, the Premier ER booking the Superstars and bringing them here, to the drawstring bag giveaway thanks to Premier Painting. It's just going to be a lot of fun. And there's some great baseball, and the team's on fire. Saturday and Sunday is a rematch of this past weekend, Saturday, Sunday, where we played the first place Abilene Flying Bison and cut their lead down on us. I think we're moving on up in the rankings. Obviously, still, we're about the halfway point of the first half. So quarter of the season done and behind us. The Bombers are on the right path right now. Great hitting, great pitching. Combine the two, big wins, 9-2 with a grand slam on Saturday night, 12-4 with a 9-run sixth inning. So the Bombers are doing what they're supposed to do with lots of fireworks on the field and then lots of fireworks off the field, right, with the big fireworks show and all the fun giveaways this coming week.
So the Bombers are home Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And that means it's 4 opportunities for you to go out. And if you've never caught the Bombers, it is family entertainment, it is family fun, it is family affordable. And that last word there might be the most important of them all. This is so the whole family can go. And then when you're there, they've got the kids zone for the kids. And they do have beer and wine. Thursday is Thirsty Thursday. And that's dollar beer and dollar water, like dollar margaritas. Affordable family, everyone in the family. The hot dogs, the hamburgers. You don't have to sell a kidney before you go. It's so that the whole family can go have fun, affordable fun. And guess what? And you get to go back. It's not like you have to plan a special trip to see one Bombers game a year. It's not like that. And speaking of affordable, if you go online, and what's the website, Uri?
bvbombers.com. It's the website with a link to buy the tickets. You pick the seat you want to sit in. If you do get one of our general admission berm seats, you get to bring your own chair, hang out on the grass, bring a blanket. It's just a fun ballpark. And the fact that it's 15 minutes away from College Station makes it so easy. You get on Highway 6, quick little drive, nice pastures and some flooded fields right now, right? But it is so nice and calm. A 15-minute drive on Highway 6, you exit the first exit in Navasota, you flip a Huey, and you take a right into the ballpark. Parking is free. The entrance is so affordable. If you buy it online, you save 20%. If you buy it at the gate, it's $10 plus fees. And then you're there having fun, having a great time. And the $10 ticket, by the way, I think it's only $7 or $5 for the berm ticket. So it's even that much more affordable there if you buy it online. And then all the fun, all the giveaways, all the excitement. I mean, Kaboom has been a joy this year. I think he's really accepted the fact that he's 20 years old and there's no maturity.
He's come to grips with it.
He's comes to grips with it, and he is a hoot. It's probably the best mascot year we've ever had. And I think it's just the maturity of being 20 years and just knowing that he's seeing all kinds of new people from all over the Brazos Valley catching games. I mean, he flourished. It was like he was glowing when he was at Brenham at the first time ever at a stadium. So I think Kaboom is really enjoying this tour, and our fans are as well. And it is such a great ballpark with the breeze, with the stadium, the way it's laid out, with kind of the stadium underneath you. It's just such an upgrade for the Bombers on the way to our permanent home in College Station.
BVBombers.com. Pre-order your tickets, or just same day, order them online, and you get 20% off. If you order them, if you just go to the stadium, $10 seats, $7 on the berm. Pre-order them, 20% off. You forget everything we said about Thirsty Thursday, Firework Fridays, and free cookie dough on Sundays. And wait, what was the giveaway on Saturday? Just go check it out at BVBombers.com. And with the Bombers, they're always doing something. This is minor league baseball concepts where the family, affordability, and hey, let's do even more. Let's turn it into an event. BVBombers.com. Uri, thank you always, dude. Hey, go Bombers. Big homestand Thursday through Sunday, every day of the weekend, and Thursday starts the weekend. Have some fun, man.
Hey, lots of giveaways, lots of fun. I'm looking forward to it. And what a better way to celebrate Father's Day than taking your dad to the ballpark. And you could even buy the tickets for your dad because it's not like $100 like going to see a Astros game or something else. So excited to have everybody in town, and thank you for always having me on your show.
Dude, best memories of the life was going to the ball game with my dad, man. No doubt about it. Be excellent, dude. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Uri Geva, owner of the Bombers. Tuesdays, we check in, get updated, because there's always going to be weeks like this where the Bombers are home every day, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and every night they're doing something cool, something awesome. Thirsty Thursday, Firework Fridays, free cookie dough, free the draw bags they're giving away on Saturday, and family, affordable fun. That's what the Bombers have waiting for you. When we come back, I got to wrap things up. We'll be, almost, but not even close to done. We still have Olin. What am I talking about? It's the Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio. Charles Schwab, low cost, full service, best of all local. That's Charles Schwab. How are they best of all local? That's Mark Sim right here in College Station, our local Charles Schwab agent representative. Find them online at schwab.com/College Station. Charles Schwab and Company Incorporated, member SIPC. Does that help you out? It's the Louie Bellina Show, Tuesday on the Zone.
The Money Machine. Back to school opens July 27th.
Damn right.
Links to sign up and reminders will be coming at you in the Zone newsletter.
Underrated greatness of a song. This is the Louie Bellina Show. Man, we're so done with our lunchtime, thanks to Rudy's Barbecue. But I do want to wrap up lifestyles. We do this day in history. Well, on this day. So on June 16th, 1903, that's Olin's birthday. 123 years ago, one of the biggest days in U.S. business history. What happened? The Ford Motor Company was incorporated on this day, 1903. On this day, 1967, which is 59 years ago, the first ever major rock festival happened in the United States of these America, Monterey International Pop Festival, Monterey Pop. It launched the careers of Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, and it was organized by John Phillips of the Mama and the Papas. You want to know how much tickets were in 1967 to go to that music festival that had those kind of artists? The expensive tickets were $6.50, and the cheap tickets were $3.50. And about 50,000 people showed up to the first one. 1967, 59 years ago, on June 16th, the first ever major rock festival took place. In 1972, June 16th, which is 54 years ago, David Bowie released his fifth album, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spider from Mars. I love the name. I'm sorry. I really do. And that's the album that had Suffragette City and Ziggy Stardust itself. And finally, I'll leave you with this. And this tells you there's two types of people in the world, people that love this movie and people that don't. But in 1978, 48 years ago, June 16th, the movie Grease was released. John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John. You're either in or out. There is no, it was fine. No such thing. When we return, Olin Buchanan time. He joins us here on the Louie Bellina Show, here on The Zone.